In less than 2 weeks, town meeting members will vote on whether Needham should amend its zoning to comply with MBTA Communities Act, which encourages housing development near transit stations. Over the past 2 years, town officials have developed 2 plans for consideration, and members must now choose which plan, if any, to adopt. On October 8th, the Select Board voted to recommend both plans, though not unanimously. Municipal producer Yu Xiaowan has the report.
At the upcoming special town meeting, 4 warrant articles will address the MBTA Communities Act. Articles 8 and 9 propose zoning changes under the Basic Compliance Plan, which suggests a moderate increase in housing capacity, adding just under 100 units to what is required by the law. The more ambitious neighborhood housing plan, reflected in Articles 10 and 11, would boost capacity by over 1,500 units. During Tuesday's Select Board meeting, Director of Planning and Community Development Lee Newman emphasized only 40% of the full build-out is expected to materialize within the next decade, according to the analysis by consultant RKG Associates. These projections have been used by town staff to assess potential impacts on school enrollment. Meanwhile, the school district is scheduled to complete its master facility plan by 2036. Which includes the addition of a new elementary school and the consolidation of grades 6 through 8 onto one campus. Enrollment projections indicate both zoning plans can accommodate elementary level students and come close to meeting high school capacity. However, the middle school could exceed capacity by 34 students under the base plan and by 74 students under the neighborhood plan. At the start of the meeting, town meeting member Wells Blanchard expressed concerns that the town may be underestimating the number of students the new housing could generate. He argued instead of the town's estimate of 13 students per 100 units, based on data from the 6 major multifamily complexes over the past 5 years, the actual number should be closer to 20 students per 100 units.
They took an average over the last 5 years of the number of students in those units. And the number of students has gone every single year up in those units, from 120 to 195 last year. So we shouldn't be using the midpoint of those. We should be using last year's numbers. The other thing is there are 6 units that they chose, and they weighted 2 of them higher than the other ones because those have more units in them. And I don't think we should do that. Those 2 units are Kendrick and the Charles River Landing, which are in an industrial park, and they're 5 stories. So that doesn't even match what we're talking about here. But let's include them, but let's not weight them more than all the rest.
Later, Deputy Town Manager Katie King explained why an average rate rather than a peak level was used for the analysis.
I think from a methodology perspective, when we have data for any municipal financial matter where numbers we know move year to year, I think our common practice is to take a rolling average because you never know if you're in a peak or a valley until you're on the other side of it. And so, I think I support kind of continuing to use the 5-year average instead of the peak year.
King also emphasized that these assumptions will be updated annually as actual projects take shape.
The goal is, can we make some reasonable assumptions to create a number that is a starting point to build into our planning? And we have systems in place already between the town and the schools where we regularly monitor units that come online and how many students those generate. And each year we can monitor what has been realized and compare it back to our analyses. So we can adjust upwards if we need to, we can adjust downwards.
Select Board member Josh Levy supported the base plan but expressed reservations about the town's infrastructure being able to handle the neighborhood plan.
I want to make sure that our infrastructure can accommodate the additional people in town. And when I look particularly at the schools, I'm very concerned about the idea of building a $300+ million pollard that can't accommodate students from the get-go. I think there are also opportunities to add additional density outside of the half-mile radius. There are many areas in town that we couldn't consider because we were focused on just this half-mile radius.
Other members backed a more ambitious zoning effort, citing the urgent need to address the housing shortage.
To my mind, choosing not to address that crisis that we know is facing the people of Needham in the most aggressive and proactive way that we can within our means currently, and instead choosing to focus on what might happen in the future, but we don't know, even though our estimates tell us that it will probably be okay, seems to me to be a mistake.
Town Manager Kate Fitzpatrick explained how the voting process will work at the special town meeting. Members will first vote on the base plan, and if both plans pass, a motion will follow to amend the decision on Articles 8 and 9. For Lindum Channel News, I'm Yu Xiaoyuan.